Welcome back to Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, where the Penguins lead the Maple Leafs by a score of 5-1 after 2 periods. And with me is the assistant general manager of the Penguins, Eddie Johnston, who has to be enjoying the show tonight up in the press box on the far side of the ice. EJ, Mario Lemieux, and Bob Airy working their magic. And, you know, we've become, I guess, accustomed to watching Lemieux do what he does, but Bob Airy just having a tremendous year, and I know you must feel very good about it. As a guy that had a tough road from when he was drafted back in 1983, and he's really come to life.
Well, there's no question. I think last year, we missed them all up until March, and I think it was quite an effect on him. But I think this year he came into training camp. He's had a good training camp. He's played exceptionally well. He's probably, one of our best two-way players. He hits exceptionally well, and he's done a tremendous job in helping Mario.
He's a classic example, isn't he, of a guy going to the minor leagues and learning his trade, basically, and having an opportunity to develop.
Well, there's no question, we got to give a little credit to Gene. Gene had him for a couple of years in the minors. I think, brought him along a little bit, gave him his confidence. I think in the last year or two, he's come on in leaps and bounds, and if he can continue to do that, I think we're going to have a great asset to our organization.
Eddie, if you could talk about maybe what you spotted upstairs early in the game in terms of what Toronto's defense were doing and how the Penguins could take advantage of it.
Well, what was happening, they were giving a puck to Lemieux in the middle, and their defense was coming at Mario, and you see what happened in the last goal when he dumped it off to Bob Airy, and Bob Airy come around the defenseman. They were moving up on Mario really quick on the one side, and they're leaving the other side wide open because they weren't getting any back checking. And when you have a guy like Mario, he'll take advantage of that every time he has.
EJ, I want to talk about some of the other players in the organization. We had a chance to talk on the radio side a couple of weeks ago when you were up in Boston about the way some players are coming along. Dave Capuano, Player of the Week 2 weeks in a row at Maine. Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, and this week the Player of the Week was Sean McEachran, which is plays for BU, had a hat trick the other night in the 6-3 win. We some of our kids that are playing down in the Muskegon are playing exceptionally well. Bruce Racine has played very well. Recchi, all reports are that Stevens is coming along very well, and Dave McElwain. Leach is having a tremendous year in junior this year for our hockey club, and they're about a year or so away. And it gives our organization a little depth now. We can look around and plug a few holes by next year. Eddie, early on when you first started your game plan of drafting players, it seemed as though there were times when you had to force kids into your lineup because you just didn't have the depth. But now the difference is they almost have to fight their way into the lineup and earn their spurs, and I think that's got to make them better players in the long run, doesn't it? Well,
there's no question. We never had the luxury before. We had to put the guys in our lineup right away. I think now by putting them down there and in the minors and getting pretty good coaching down there, it gives them an opportunity to develop their skills, and then when they do come up, they're a little hungry and they want to stay here.
EJ, if you could maybe talk about just what kind of a contribution you think some of these guys can make, particularly Jamie Leach. He's going to get an opportunity to go play in the World Junior Championships, and what kind of a player do you think we can look for him to be?
Well, I think he's a pro-type player. He's about 6'2½". He's having an exceptionally good year down there in junior. I think this tournament at Christmas is going to do him a world of good against the top competition. And he's a real tough forward, a pro-type forward, 6'2", good shot, very tough, and I think he's going to be a great addition to our organization.
One last question, that is Tom Barrasso. You've known all along that a dominant goaltender, would make all the difference in the world for the Penguins. He certainly has been that.
Well, you got to give a lot of credit to, we've been trying to get Barrasso for a while, but you got to give a lot of credit to Tony, because the one missing link that we've always had has been goalkeeping, and Tony went out of his way, and people said, well, we might have given up too much, but what Tommy's done, we didn't give up enough, because he's doing a tremendous job for our organization.
He really is, Eddie, and I guess it takes a goaltender to know one. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Merry Christmas to you, too, by the way.
Thank you very much. You, too.
Eddie Johnston, Assistant General Manager of the Penguins, has been our guest, and we'll return to Maple Leaf Gardens in just a moment. It's the Penguins 5 and the Maple Leafs 1 here on the Penguins Hockey Network.